The Forgotten Chains of St. Lucia, The Brigand Wars, The Smoke of Rebellion, a Lady Divine documentary on the forbidden glass of wine. My loves, tonight the glass before us carries not sweetness, but smoke, not stillness, but the tremor of war. There was a time, here in St. Lucia, when the hills themselves burned with rebellion, when the forests whispered freedom songs, when the rivers ran not only with rain, but with the blood of those who refused to bow. The world called it La Guerre des Brigands, the War of the Brigands. But my loves, what they called bandits, we know as warriors. What they called rebellion, we remember as birth. For from those flames, a people began to awaken. This glass I hold tonight, it is not mere wine. It is a relic of resistance. Each drop carries the smoke of a burning plantation. The cry of a mother hiding her son in the forest. The vow of a man swearing never to be enslaved again. They fought in the hills and ravines of this island. They fought barefoot, with machetes, courage, and fire. They fought not for greed, but for a promise whispered generations before, that one day their children would stand free on St. Lucian soil. And yet, my loaves, this freedom did not come in peace. It came through smoke, through hunger, through pain. It came through the very fire that sought to consume them. So tonight, we do not sip to forget, we sip to remember. To taste the ashes and the courage in equal measure. To honor those who fought, and to question how we, their children, now use the freedom they died for. This glass carries their smoke, their struggle, their survival. Let us begin. The Brigands Wars, 1795 to 1797. The Island in Flames. My loves, freedom was never handed to us. It was seized in blood, in fire, in sacrifice. And here in St. Lucia, our ancestors rose from cane fields and mountains to fight the chains that bound them. Naming the war, the world called it La Guerre des Brigands, the War of the Brigands. But history knows it as something greater. St. Lucian's first war for freedom. This glass tonight carries the smoke of that rebellion. The spark of revolution. The French Revolution spoke of liberty, equality, fraternity. In 1794, France abolished slavery in its colonies. Hope spread like wildfire across the Caribbean. Our people heard the word freedom, and they believed it could reach even the cane fields of St. Lucia. The British invasion. But the British, hungry for land and power, invaded our island to restore slavery. They wanted the sugar. They wanted the profit. They wanted us back in chains. But the enslaved would not return quietly. Flight to the forests. Thousands fled the plantations, into the forests, into the mountains, into the mist. There they joined French revolutionaries, free blacks, and escaped slaves. Together they became an army of shadows. The guerrilla war. From 1795 to 1797, they fought not on open fields, but in the hills, in the ravines, in the forests. They struck without warning. They burned plantations. They turned the land itself into their ally. Warriors without uniforms. These were not soldiers in polished boots. They were barefoot fighters, armed with machetes, fire, and courage. Every strike was survival. Every victory was freedom, snatched from the jaws of empire. The label Brigands. The British spat one word at them, brigands, bandits, criminals, outlaws. But history reveals the truth. They were freedom fighters. They were St. Lucians refusing to bow. A rebel stand. Picture it, my loves. A man stands in the rainforest, his skin scarred from the whip. Beside him, a woman grips a machete. They are tired, hungry, hunted. But tonight, they are free. He whispers, I would rather die in these hills as a brigand than live in the fields as a slave. And with that vow, they fight, not for riches, not for glory, but for generations yet unborn. Life in the camps. The brigands slept in caves and huts of leaves. Food was scarce. Every sound in the night could mean discovery. But still they laughed. Still they drummed. Still they whispered to each other, better this life than chains. The women who fought. Do not think it was only men in the forest. Women carried food through the hills. Women nursed the wounded. Some, like Fleur Bois-Gaillard, rose to lead warriors themselves. Their courage carried the rebellion as much as fire and steel. The British response. The British unleashed brutal campaigns. Villages were torched. Prisoners were executed. But the brigands fought on. Even empire could not crush their spirit. Forgotten freedom. And now, my loves, here we are, free yet bound again, not by iron, but by the bullets in our own streets. Do you not see the insult? They fought the British with machetes, and here we are, killing each other with guns. False freedom. Our ancestors united to face empires. And we divide ourselves. They dreamed of a nation free, and we tear it down with our own hands. This is not the freedom they fought for. This is a false freedom, and false freedom is another kind of slavery. The wine of resistance. This glass tonight is not just wine. It is fire. It is blood. It is memory. The brigands fought so we might live as a people, not die as enemies. So let us honor their rebellion, not by spilling blood, but by guarding life. Let the killing stop. Stop. My loves, we have sipped from their glass. We have felt their pain, their courage, their survival. But remembering alone is not enough. We must honor them with how we live. No more chains of hate. No more slavery to crime. No more blood on St. Lucian soil. Our ancestors carried us this far. Now we must carry each other. Let us vow to protect our freedom, to guard our culture, to honor their sacrifice. Until we meet again, my loves. Let the killing stop. Let us unite to make St. Lucia great again. And so, my darlings, the smoke has settled. The hills that once burned with rebellion now rest under moonlight and memory. This glass, it carries more than wine. It carries the breath of those who fought, the tears of those who buried their dead, and the prayers of those who dared to dream of freedom. The British called them brigands, but we know their names: fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, people who rose from chains and said, never again. They fought so that we could walk freely across this soil, speak our language, raise our children, and call ourselves Lucian without fear. But my darlings, what good is freedom if we use it to destroy each other? What victory remains if the blood of our own people still stains this sacred land? The brigands fought empires. We fight shadows of ourselves. They burned plantations. We burn each other's futures. They were hunted. We are haunted. And still the island weeps. My loves, it is time to end this cycle. Let our weapons be words. Let our rage become remembrance. Let our pain become purpose. For if we continue spilling the blood of our own, then the brigands died in vain. This glass tonight is not just wine. It is fire. It is blood. It is memory. It is the courage of a people who refused to kneel, to the warriors who rose from the forests, to the mothers who hid the wounded, to the children who carried messages through the hills. We remember you. We thank you. We continue your fight in peace. My loves, the war is over, but the healing has just begun. Let the fire of resistance become the light of unity. Let the ashes of pain become the soil of rebirth. And let the heart of Saint Lucia beat once more for life, not for loss. Let the killing stop.